Hello, gorgeous. I'm back today, and today we're talking about the power of sisterhood and queens are not DIYers. So I want to share my story of how I got started on YouTube and how this whole thing began, this whole world of inner work for me. So 9 years ago, I had just gotten married, just moved into a new state, and given birth to my second child, just lost my mother to cancer. And so all of this is going on for me. I'm in a new surrounding, in a new marriage, just given birth. There's just so much. And I didn't really know anyone in this new state. And my first gut reaction was that I needed to connect with other women. And so I started this YouTube channel, and in the beginning it was just nothing. I was just making random haul videos and sharing my day-to-day stuff just in hopes of connecting with other people. But it was through this journey and being reflected at from my subscribers, from my followers, from these women from all over the world, their comments, their sharing of their own stories, their judgments, their love, the whole collective mix of it was really what started me on my inner journey. And so I became this woman that was coming out of my own trauma and wound, total basic babe mode, not even realizing at the time that I was also carrying a lot of trauma, ancestral trauma, from my parents, from my ancestors. And I went into self-aware Barbie mode. I had an emergency. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and I knew that I did not want to end up like a lot of my relatives who were overweight, constantly in pain, suffering, tired, and they thought that that was just a way of life. They thought that's just how life is supposed to be. I just knew I didn't want to be that. And so I took control of my own life. I went into complete self-aware Barbie mode, and I was reading hundreds of books, researching hundreds of things that I could do to overcome my illness. And reading was something that was always a passion of mine. Since I was 7, I was an avid reader. Currently, my family, my husband and I were having a conversation, and we realized I read about 28 books a month, and I love it. It's not out of I have to read it. I just absolutely adore reading, and it's my life force. And so I started doing all this research, and a few years into that, I started just sharing my advice and my journey on YouTube, and I started getting comments from so many women saying they were suffering from similar things, and they started applying my methods. That evolution and that journey led me towards realizing that I was really unhappy in the state of my marriage. I had a good enough marriage. My husband and I were good friends, but it wasn't the kind of juicy, passionate, alive relationship that every woman deeply craves. The place where you're completely seen for who you are. There's no facade, there's no mask. You can be deeply heard, and you can grow spiritually in the comfort of that sacred relationship. That's what I really craved. And so once again, I started working on myself, and one transformation, I kept layering it on, and my entire relationship transformed. I now have this beautiful, juicy, delicious relationship, and my husband and I are both very grateful for that whole transformation. You know how they say if one woman heals, you heal 7 generations back and 7 generations forward? I have seen that in my own journey. So the path hasn't been easy, but it's so worth it. Now from there, when we transformed the relationship, I had this deep longing and craving to have really sacred, soul level friendships with women, really up-leveled relationships with women. And this was an area where I had been lacking, right? I, like everyone else, had been backstabbed by women, had been degraded by women, had been betrayed by women, and I had done the same to other women. And so there was just this trauma that we're all carrying around. And so I created a friend love list, and all of a sudden these beautiful, lovely, high-level, elevated women started entering my life. And from there, I started up-leveling even more other areas of my life, my consciousness, the way that I dressed, the way that I carried myself, the car that I drove, the way that I designed my house, and the way that I designed my life. Everything transformed. One journey It's like this soul level upgrade where everything just layers and layers and layers on top of each other. But the one thing that I really have had the biggest aha over, and I see so many women struggling with this, is that the self-aware Barbie is a DIYer, right? When you're in self-aware Barbie mode, you think you have to do it all. You're in hustle mode, you're in like nose to the floor, like get it done mode. And yes, that serves you for a little bit. But the way that women's bodies are, the way that we're designed, the way that our brains work, the way that our hormonal chemistry works, we cannot live in that state forever. That is the recipe for adrenal fatigue, for hormonal balances, for autoimmune diseases. We cannot stay in that mode forever. And so the biggest aha I would say I've had is that if you think of the $1 Million Babe or high-end divinity or a queen or a goddess, these aren't women that are DIYers. These aren't women that do it all themselves. These aren't women that are duct taping different pieces of information together, right? These are women that have support systems. They have teams of people working for them. They outsource where it's needed. They ask for help, they seek support, and they also give that support to other people. And so in my own journey, last year I found that I hit this like point where I was stagnant. I couldn't go higher because I really had to go beyond even the support system that I had that time. Like my husband is an amazing support system in my life. So are my children. And I have a few really good friends that are my die and ride chicks, right? So I had that, but it was really time to up level and seek out that support even on higher levels. Like I'm not new to hiring coaches and mentors. I've had those before. But I mean, go so big that it made me vomit, like that kind of big. And so I went ahead and seek those women out, seek that support system. The women that were so far ahead of me that just being in their vortex and being in their present up-leveled me. It changed my whole energetic vibration just being near them. Once I hired and started working with these type of mentors, everything changed for me. Right? So this is what I really want to pass on to you, is that there will come a time in your journey where you need to go from basic babe to self-aware Barbie and take control of things in your hands. But if you don't want to be stuck in a decade-long transformation, if you want to really take those quantum leaps, you're going to have to eventually seek the support of the women that have been there, that have lost the blood, sweat, tears, bone, like they have really done the path, because those are the women that are going to pull you through. Those are the women that are going to call you out on your BS. Those are the women that are not going to let you play small. So there's going to be different people in your life that are going to be your next level. Don't be afraid to go and hire the person that's your next level. Don't just stick with the comfort level people, right? And even if that person is 5-10 steps ahead of you, why not take that quantum leap? Why not do something so uncomfortable, so scary, that it literally jolts your soul out of your stagnation, right? Why not harness the power of many? Remember sisterhood and tribes, this is what our ancestors did. This is what our DNA is. We have it built into our DNA to be in tribe, to be in sisterhood. And I know that we also carry a lot of trauma around that, but once you change, you start attracting the type of people that are really elevated. So if you're the type of woman that's stuck in the toxic kind of friendships, so one of the biggest lessons I've learned around sisterhood is that it takes two to create that toxic energetic field. So when I changed, when I up-leveled, now I only attract really up-leveled, elevated women. So it's okay to seek that out, be a little afraid, and go and do it anyways, and see what these women can shine back for you and mirror back for you. Because if you're looking at toxic friends, they're just mirroring back the same toxic level energy that you're carrying inside of you. But when you're hanging out with people that are really up-leveled, really upgraded, they've really done their inner work, and they're at a higher level than you, whether these are mentors or your coaches or your teachers, all of a sudden they're mirroring back the light that exists within you, the potential that you're full of. And it can be scary, it can be really triggering, but at the same time, that's exactly what you need to pull you out of that funk. So I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe, ladies, if you haven't already. And listen, I have this wonderful online free retreat happening soon. I will be sending out the link only to my Queen Rising Love Letter community. So if you're not signed up for that, you want to go ahead and do that now. It's in the description box, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.